So this video is going to look at modern technology and its impact on fair outcomes. So if we look at your specification, you need to know the extent to which it's increased fair outcomes. So they've given you set things you need to know there, and the extent to which it has limited or decreased fair outcomes as well. So we're looking at both. How has it made it more fair? How has it made it less fair? So we're going to start with improving, how modern technology has improved fair outcomes. So the first thing it's done is it's improved better timing devices. So timing is now far more accurate and we have better measuring devices in place. So a good example to bring up in the exam is the light and timing gates in athletics. A clock is automatically activated by a starting device, so like the gun, and the finish time is automatically recorded or timed by analysis of a photo finish, or sometimes when athletes break a little laser, which is at the end, then it will time it based on that. The next thing you need to know about is increased accountability of officials. Obviously, there's technology in place to help officials make the right decisions, and therefore they're more accountable for any poor decisions they make. In rugby, you've got TMO, the televised match official. In basketball, you've got replay systems to ensure players are shooting in the allocated time. In international cricket, you've got a third umpire and access to TV replays. In football, obviously, you've got VAR. So there's a lot of things in place to help the officials become more accountable. Regarding more accurate decision making, technology has helped officials make more accurate decisions via instant replays and reviews of decisions in cricket, tennis, football and rugby. Hawkeye in tennis is a great example. It's a camera that takes 600 frames a second, gets analysed by a computer and can tell where a ball's trajectory went straight away to help with any tight decisions there. In rugby 2015 World Cup, they used Hawkeye alongside the TMO to help improve decision making. Obviously, it wasn't following or tracking the ball, but it was helping to improve decision making during the games. Next, we've got the improved detection of foul play. So this can be through retrospective action and a panel reviewing any incidents that a match official may have missed. With VAR, you've got the detection of diving to win a penalty in football. So someone dives, you can get watched by VAR to see whether it was a penalty or whether that player deserved to be booked. So obviously it's helped with fair outcomes. We've also got improved detection of doping. So there's been increased investment into technology, whether it be laboratories looking at detecting new drugs or athlete biological passports, so keeping a monitoring, running record of the athlete's blood levels to ensure we know if there are changes, then that's probably down to doping or drug taking. Despite all of these positives, the following reasons are stated as disadvantages of modern technology advancements as well. So we do have disadvantages as well. Now, the first one we're looking at is there's a lot of pressure on officials. Officials can feel increased pressure to use technology rather than just trusting their own judgment. And the media appear to highlight all the mistakes that officials make, which is going to cause more anxiety for those referees. And also, a lot of athletes start to lose respect of officials' decisions being final. Ignore the ref, go straight to VAR. That's what we're waiting on. And a lot of times, technology can highlight errors in their decisions and can be used to overrule them. And the pressure to use technology rather than make their own decisions obviously disrupts the game and stops that flow that fans enjoy so much about sport. Staying on officials using technology can still be wrong. Technology can't be used for absolutely everything, and officials are always going to maintain as a integral part of sport. But even when we are using technology, mistakes are still going to be made, and we've seen that in the Premier League quite a lot this season. That decisions can still be wrong. We've got a little example here as well, and we'll look about this in next lesson, the hotspot controversy, when athletes were trying to get around the hotspot machine to see whether they were out or not. But I think the big thing to make sure you understand is that human error is still not eliminated. Even the person doing VAR, there's still a human making that decision. So technology will never eradicate all incorrect decisions. Another big disadvantage is that access to modern technology can be limited. The fact that not everyone is going to have the same exposure to the latest technology. Lower league football won't be able to afford things like goal technology, VAR. because of the expense, and it's generally only available at an elite level. And on top of that, it's only going to be used in some sports and not other sports. So you've got a disadvantage if you are a minority sport. You're not going to have this technology to help you make fairer outcomes. The final thing we're going to look at then is performance enhancing drug testing. It just can't keep up with new drugs being developed. So drugs sheets are always going to be one step ahead. And unfortunately, performance enhancing drugs testers and the laboratories testing people can't keep up with new drugs development. So it means athletes may be winning as undetected drugs cheats. Because you've got to think about it, modern technology involves the creation of new drugs and new performance enhancing drugs. And those drugs are what gives athletes an unfair advantage. And unfortunately, new testing technology just can't keep up with drug development. So make sure you've got these points down and try and think of any other examples that we can talk about in class where you can give clear examples of how either technology has helped improve fair outcomes or the reasons why it may have reduced fair outcomes in sport as well. And any specific examples from sports or matches that you've watched would be really good to hear about in our next lesson.